All right. Hello, everyone. Just wanted to start off by thanking everyone who came in and supported me on my last video. And also a big thank you to everyone at Cancer Support Community for everything that's been going on and all the help they've been doing, getting everything online and working out. So this video is going to build on last week's video, which covered symptoms of nausea and a little bit of diet ideas of how you can work through dealing with nausea and just getting a little more information on that. So this is going to come from the National Cancer Institute. They published a guide called Eating Hints Before, During, and After Cancer. And that's where most of this information will be coming from. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Chris. I am a graduate social work intern studying through Edinburgh University, and I work out of the Gilda's Club location for Cancer Support Community. So as we dive into this week's subject is going to be taste or smell changes. It's a very common symptom for people that are undergoing chemotherapy, radiation, stuff like that, that some of your favorite tastes won't be the same. Some things even with smells, sometimes you get the treatment, certain smells will kind of just either smell different or they'll kind of give you like a sense of nausea, something like that. It's a very common thing. A lot of foods will kind of get that bitterness or taste like metal. And as you go along, you'll find different foods just aren't the same as they used to be. And it goes the same with smells as well. Some foods that you really used to enjoy the smell of, all of a sudden, they just really won't go along with you well. Some of the reasons this happens, as like I said, cancer treatments, there's also some dental problems that can kind of work into this, where they can kind of influence your taste of your taste sensors and stuff like that. And then, unfortunately, while there is no way to prevent a lot of these problems, you can kind of work around them using some of these diet strategies, which help to deal with them. So one of the things that you can do to manage these symptoms is to just choose foods that look and smell good to you. This is one of those things, as I talked about last week, it's a lot of trial and error. It's a lot of just finding things that work for you, working through the system and finding, if you find a food that you used to really love and all of a sudden doesn't smell good, just try to find a different food. That's what it really comes down to. For example, if you used to be a real big fan of beef and all of a sudden that doesn't taste good anymore, try chicken, try salmon. Just try to work around trying different foods that kind of fit the same category and just see if they taste a little better to you and avoid those bad symptoms. You can also try marinating food. That's another big one. Just improves the flavor, adds another layer of flavor on top of it, especially if you're having trouble just getting taste in general. If you have a lot of muted taste buds, then you may want to just try to throw in a little bit of marination there. You can add in like lemons, fruit juices, salad dressing, stuff like that. Anything that adds that extra layer of flavor, you can just throw it on there, marinate it, let it sit in the fridge, let it go. Very easy. It's another way of just adding flavor and trying to work around and experiment and find what works for you. Another strategy is to try tart foods and drinks. These are things like oranges, lemons, limes, vinegar, these very strong flavors that can kind of just overpower those other flavors that you may not enjoy as much. They add extra flavors to the foods and really give that extra kick to your taste buds. It adds in that little extra layer that kind of helps. The only thing that's important to mention with this that deals with other side effects, if you do have a sore mouth or any kind of open mouth sore, this is not the strategy you want to use. A lot of these tart foods and drinks are actually aggravating to sores that you get in your mouth, so you want to avoid kind of the lemon, lime, stuff like that. You can also try making foods sweeter. If you do have the mouth sores or you're not a fan of that kind of stuff, you can do more of the sugar sweetener to try to just add that little extra flavor like I've been talking about. And then also, if you don't want to do either of those routes, you can try just using herbs, things like basil, oregano, rosemary, those little things that you can add in, just throw a little pinch, experiment. That's all it really comes down to. See what works for you. Certain things may have a little bit of smell you don't like or a taste you don't like, but just kind of work through your kitchen. We usually tend to have those things that we use once, those little herbs or spices that you really don't use. Just kind of go through your pantry, see if there's anything that can be a little helpful to you. Just add that extra flavor in there. Some of the things that you want to avoid, as I said before, avoiding foods and drinks that you don't, or foods and drinks that you don't like the smell of or you don't like the taste of. Just getting those out of the way so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to deal with those side effects. It's important to find the stuff that you like so the side effects aren't as big of a life factor for you. Also, serving to reduce the smell of foods, you can serve foods at room temperature, kind of let them sit for a little and kind of get out, let the smells kind of get out of the room a little bit. Also, keeping foods covered is another big one. For drinks, you can use cups with lids or travel mugs, kind of contains the smells and everything into one thing. If you are bothered a lot, you can also drink through a straw. It takes some of the taste out of there, gets it right to the back of your throat, and you don't have to deal with the full sensations as much. For foods, if you're cooking and you have a kitchen fan or something that can kind of circulate the air, I know it's starting to slowly get nicer out, so you can kind of open your windows, start getting some of that smell out of the room so you don't have to deal with it as much as you're cooking, or if someone else is cooking and you just happen to be around. Just open as many doors or windows, turn on your kitchen fans, just stuff to get that smell out of there. And then another thing you can do when cooking is just to lift lids away from you so that the smell goes away from you rather than towards you. As with every side effect we'll be covering, always talk with a dietitian or a doctor if you are having concerns. These are your go-to people that will know the most information. They can kind of help you, especially a dietitian can help you find those foods and drinks that you like, especially if you're not really experienced in the kitchen, you don't feel like experimenting. They can kind of give you the guidelines of maybe this will be better, or they can help you with certain things that you're experiencing. Also, you can try eating with plastic forks and spoons. This is another big one, especially for people that are having that metallic taste. If you avoid the metal forks and spoons, you can kind of avoid some of that metallic taste. It'll definitely help to calm that down. You can try eating with chopsticks too, another non-metal thing. And then also trying cooking foods in glass pots and pans instead of metal ones. Another important thing is just keeping your mouth clean. It kind of goes without saying, but it is another thing that the more that you keep your mouth clean, the more you'll be able to deal with these side effects better, and you'll avoid the dental side effects as well. There are some special mouthwashes that you can get as well, which deal with the side effects and kind of make it a little easier, so you can talk to your dentist or doctor about that as well if you are having problems. So for this week's recipe, I picked a mango salsa. As I talked about last week, I wanted to choose something that was very simple, very straightforward, limited time cooking. The whole point of these recipes is to just give you an option which doesn't require you to buy 50 million ingredients and spend 30 minutes in the kitchen. We want you to be aware that you can kind of make these strategies that are very simple, very easy additions to your diet, which won't take up all of your energy and really just give you that more experience in the kitchen. So this mango salsa, the recipe will be linked on here as well. You usually get 3 to 4 servings, each serving size being about 2 tablespoons. The main ingredients are 1 mango, 1 tomato, 1/4 of a red onion, the half of a lime or lemon, depending on your preference, and then 1 teaspoon of dried parsley, and then a little bit of sea salt and pepper if you like that as well. So it's as with last week, I'm just going to start with washing my hands. It's a very important thing, especially with everything that's been going on recently. All right. So similar to last week, you're just going to take, I already pre-cut everything just because no one wants to sit here and watch me struggle cutting everything. So we have 1 mango pre-chopped. You can see you just cut them up into small little pieces. It's very free flowing. If you want to do a lot smaller pieces and make it more free flowing, you can do that as well. It's completely up to you. The instructions just say small cubes or pieces. So basically, however much effort you want to put into it, that's what you get out of it. And then you have the tomato cut up as well. Actually, at this point, I'm just going to add them together. Very simple. There's no real steps involved. Just throwing it all together. All right. Then we're going to add in a quarter of a red onion. Just chopped up. The recipe also says small cubes or pieces. I just cut them up small as I could. And then we're going to top that off with the teaspoon of parsley. And then just going to squeeze in a little bit of lime juice. I'm sure there's a more professional way of doing this, but just going to make it quick and easy. Just going to squeeze it in as much as I can. Right off the video. All right. Then for this, I will be adding just a little bit of salt, not much. It does have a lot of flavor. And it's also important to notice for this, it is also a very good source of vitamin C. So with everything that's been going on, it's a really good way to boost your immune system, get that extra vitamin C that you might not be getting in other parts of your diet. And then this is something that you can have with tacos, tortilla chips. You can kind of experiment, throw it on a lot of different things, or you can just eat it by itself as well. All right. So we're just going to go in, mix that all up really quick. And this is another one of those things that's very good, especially with the weather getting better. It's definitely a summer type salsa that you can kind of throw together. You can save it up for a couple days, not a problem at all. You can easily refrigerate it. And it's just a very easy way to add more flavor. It does act kind of like a marinade, but it's also just the extra topping as well that you can throw onto your normal diet and just add that little addition on there as well. So as you can see, it's a very colorful little addition to add to your diet there. And then, of course, can't make food without trying it. It's the most important step. Very good. Compliments to the shelf. So as you work through this, you can also add more ingredients if you like. If there's something you feel like you would really go well with the salsa, feel free to add it in there. But as it stands, it's a very good salsa you can kind of use on the side. You can add it to things as well. So thank you all for your time today. I hope you'll be able to use all of this going forward. And it really does mean a lot to me to have this opportunity. And I hope everyone's getting along well with everything that's been going on.